And welcome to Ducks No Sports. This week we are talking about the NFL free agency recap. It's been a busy weekend a bit, and with a lot of interesting signings. And let's get right to it with Peyton Manning signing in Denver for 5 years for $95 million. Great sign by Denver. This makes Denver a top contender in the NFL. This year, especially in the AFC. This puts them up there with Baltimore and definitely the Pats for one of the top teams in the AFC with that great defense led by Von Miller. And, in the backfield we have McGahee, such a great running back. Last year had a great year, probably his best year since he came out of the U. And with the rising star there in the wide and Thomas. Don't really have a tight end, but expect them to sign Dallas Clark the offseason because he's a free agent, got also released by the Colts, so expect them to sign Dallas Clark, and I think also Jeff Saturday to play center. And you talk about Peyton Manning, you gotta talk about the fallout, which is teams that didn't sign Peyton Manning that really want him. A team like Tennessee, which you'll have to make good with Matt Hasselbeck, which I think won't be hard because at this point Matt Hasselbeck's career, I think he's lucky just to be starting in the league. So I think that won't be hard. Tennessee is still a great team in Tennessee. Or a team like San Francisco, which I think won't be hard again because you just tell Alex Smith, hey dude, we tried to sign Peyton Manning. We didn't get him, but you're still our guy. And then you just have Harbaugh just say, who's got better than us? Nobody. So it will be interesting. Another team tried to get him with the Jets, but they already made amends with their quarterback by giving Sanchez that big deal. And, a great signing by Denver. But now Denver also has a headache on their plate as what do you do with Tim Tebow now? Obviously, you're not going to keep Tim Tebow after all this. And I think if you're Tim Tebow, you want to be traded. He probably want to be traded. And I think it's a good thing to trade him because you have a team like Miami or Jacksonville or Cleveland. So many teams will want Tim Tebow. And I think you can get great value for him. Maybe even a first-round pick, which would be great. If you're Denver, if you're John Elway, you can get a first-round pick. That would be great. But I think realistically, you'll probably get maybe a high second-round draft pick for him. And he will be traded, and he probably deserves to be traded because his stock is so high, and he's such a great brand right now. And he won games, so there will be a lot of interest around for league for Tim Tebow. Moving to other signings, the Buffalo Bills made a huge sign. Yes, that's right. The Buffalo Bills signed Mario Williams. 6 years, $100 million, $50 million guaranteed, massive contract. Good signing by Buffalo. I'll give them credit. Buffalo Bills now have a great pass rush with Mario Williams one side and Kyle Williams on the other side. Two great young pass rushers. Well, I guess Mario's not that young anymore. But with in a defensive backfield was so good. I mean, they can pick balls off, take them to the house. Ball hawks back there. To have ball hawks in your defensive backfield, you need to have a good pass rush, and that's what the Buffalo Bills now have. And you talk about Buffalo now. If they can run the ball with Fred Jackson and be a dominant defense, they might have a shot this year at the AFC East, as they are a very, very good. They could be a very, very good team, and they could be a team like the Pats or a team like the Jets or the Dolphins. They could win this East if everything goes their way with Mario Williams. It's a big signing, great signing, and probably the Bills' best pass rusher since Bruce Smith back in the 90s. Another team made a few interesting signings. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They signed Vincent Jackson, not the hugest Vincent Jackson fan in the world. I'll get to that in a minute. But also Carl Nicks. Good signing by the Bucs there, taking him away from the Saints in their division. Great signing, and I just love the sign right there. Bringing Nicks, best probably guard in the NFL, and will solidify that offensive line. But the other sign they made was Vincent Jackson. Not the hugest Vincent Jackson fan in the world, but it is what it is. Vincent Jackson, to me, is more just, all about him, more about money, not about winning championships. I mean, almost sat out a whole year one year just because he wanted more cash. Just a selfish player, I think he is. and a guy who, let's be honest, last couple of years in San Diego, he's checked out of games. It's been pretty clear watching Chargers games the last couple of years when the game's still in the line, the fourth quarter, he checks out early. So not the type of guy I want on my team. I think he's more of a cancer to a team. And I just not a big fan of Vincent Jackson, and I think this is going to blow up in the Bucs' face. And I will be there in 3 years when they release this dude to say I told you so. Another interesting, not much to sign, but trade this time. The Chicago Bears trading for Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall is a top 5 wide receiver in this league, no doubt in my mind. Reunited with Jay Cutler. We had all access with the Broncos. You know, with him and Marshall and Cutler, like every year they played together, he had 100+ catch balls a year and about 1,200 yards in receiving yards easy every year they played. So good signing. And reuniting with Jay Cutler, they need that top wide receiver to go with Matt Forte in the backfield. And that good defense. You know, the Chicago Bears with Brandon Marshall could be a top team in the NFC. The only problem with Brandon Marshall is obviously the off-the-field instance with being arrested. I think it's now 6 times in about 6 years. So not a very good sign. But like Jay Cutler said, you'll have to wait till the other details come out about this last arrest because it probably looks like it wasn't really his fault. But if this pans out, this makes Chicago Bears a very, very good team. And they could go Super Bowl next year with Brandon Marshall out there. Now, moving to some teams that I didn't like what they did during the offseason. Of course, who are we going to start with? Well, let's start with the Miami Dolphins. If you're Miami, like, what are you doing right now? You lose out on Peyton Manning and was like, so what? Didn't really think you'd get Peyton Manning. Not a very big deal there. But losing out on Matt Flynn, I mean, Matt Flynn's a very good quarterback, a very good young quarterback, and you losing out on him is huge. I mean, he knows the system as the offensive coordinator, is now the head coach of the Dolphins. And just, you know, Matt Flynn would have been a great. He could have been your next Dan Marino, who they're still trying to replace. And Matt Flynn, you know, goes there for a visit and just bolts. Not a very good sign if you're a Dolphins fan. And they're losing on everybody. I mean, they signed David Garrard. Does David Garrard strike excitement to anybody? It doesn't strike excitement to me. So if you're Miami, it looks like it's gonna be a long year. But if you're Miami, we talked earlier about Tim Tebow. There's nobody in the league that needs Tim Tebow more than Miami Dolphins because they need some excitement. They need a QB there with the Miami Dolphins. Another team had a bad offseason, the Washington Redskins, but they've always had bad offseasons, so because they're a terrible, terrible team. But this year they took it to a new level, giving up 3 first-round draft picks and a second-round draft pick to the St. Louis Rams straight for the second pick in the draft. They must love RG3 because that's the only reason you do this. And RG3 could be a good quarterback in the league. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say he's not gonna be a good quarterback because he has a chance to be a good quarterback. I like what I see at RG3. But is he worth 3 first-round picks? No. But to be fair, nobody's worth 3 first-round picks. This is just insane what they gave up. But I guess since I think they had to do this because I think Cleveland was also going to give a hot deal to move up to second spot, so made sense. But also another stupid sign they did was they signed Pierre Garçon. They gave him top wide receiver cash, and to me, he's not a top wide receiver. He's a number 3, number 2 at best. I mean, a guy with inconsistent hands. You know, he saw in that Super Bowl where he dropped that pass wide open. You know, could have really turned the tide for the Colts, and just a stupid signing, and I think will blow up in the Redskins' face. Another team that had bad season, New Orleans Saints, one of the best teams in the league, no doubt. But, you know, this whole bounty gate thing, you know, where they're giving players on the side cash for taking out players. To me, not a huge deal because I think this goes on more than you think, probably is in most rooms. But, you know, it's just a bad thing to put on your team. And also not sign Drew Brees, franchising him. And it sounds like Drew Brees doesn't want to be there, which looks bad in the New Orleans Saints. I mean, Benson, the owner of the Saints, coming out saying Drew Brees is okay. But he's not an elite quarterback, which is ludicrous because he is. He's a top 3 QB in the league. And I think you're saying you gotta sign Brees. You gotta give him what he wants, which is the highest paid quarterback in the league. And I really believe the New Orleans Saints need to sign Drew Brees. And this bounty gate makes New Orleans Saints, who everybody loves the Saints, but it's making them really look bad in this off season. But there's still some top free agents out there, as still a few good free agents like Mark Anderson, good pass rusher for the Pats. You know, very underrated pass rusher, could help a team that needs some pass rush help, like Atlanta or Chicago or a team like that. Be a very good signing. A guy like Webb from the Ravens, good corner, could be a number one corner of most teams in this league. Very underrated guy, can like pick a few balls off, will shut down the guy too. Very good corner. Curtis Lofton also still out there. A tackling machine. You know, led the Falcons the last couple of years and almost top in the league, leading guys in tackles. A very good linebacker. I thought I'd get Patrick Willis type money. Doesn't look like he's get that, but you know, it looks like he's had a few visits here with the New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Bucks. So he'll probably stay in the South. But I think whoever gets Curtis Lofton would be a great signing. Marcus McNeil, great lineman for all those years with the Chargers, could really solidify a lot of lines in this league. And he's had a few visits here. He's visit with the Chiefs and the Falcons, so his signing with probably one of those teams the next couple of days, I would think, and would bring leadership too, which both those teams need. And finally, Tracy Porter, you know, Super Bowl hero from a couple years ago. Very good corner, like a Deion Sanders type player. Not Deion Sanders, but a guy who will pick balls off, take him to the house. I look for a team like Dallas, who needs a corner bad. And a guy like Tracy Porter, I think, would be a good signing for the Dallas Cowboys. Well, that's it for my free agent breakdown. But I'll probably do a few more videos before the season starts because the NFL is just awesome, man. I mean, we always got great stories. Our next story will probably be around the draft time. You know, I see the first overall pick, I see it being Andrew Luck going to the Colts, because with Colts getting rid of Manning, I see Andrew Luck being the next quarterback of the Colts. And the second pick with the Redskins trading up so high, I gotta believe that the Redskins take Robert Griffin III with the second pick in the draft. See how that works out. I hope it works out for him because I really like Robert Griffin III, and I really love Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck, he's probably the best player, best prospect, best quarterback prospect since probably Peyton Manning. So we'll see if that happens. The draft, always an interesting day, and I think there'll be a few trades that day too. Well, that's it for this time. But till next time, I'm Aaron Duxmer saying, I'm Dux, and I know sports. Kind of.